time matter?
Yeah.
Or length of time I spend on a reel?
Yeah, they definitely matter. They matter a lot less than cents, but they matter. I think another thing that's important to take a look at, though, is it isn't a direct engagement rate, is what percentage of your reach was unconnected versus connected? Because those are really two parallel systems.
What
right?
does that mean?
So what percentage of your reach came from accounts that followed you versus what percentage of your reach came from accounts that don't follow you? We just showed your content to them.
What did he just say? And this is very tricky area. What do you guys feel about it? I'm just trying to compile my thoughts. This is a very big shocker, but trying to compile my thoughts.
The thing that you mentioned was also about the fact that people who don't follow you is also going to be larger. And in that case, does the whole metric of gaining followers even make sense?
Does gaining followers make sense? But what makes you say so? Because what he said is just a ratio. It is not that, okay, your connected should be higher or this, that. What he's saying is, I'm not talking about percentage, but people who are following you must do something with your content. Um Otherwise, it will not think that, okay, you should be getting newer audience also.
So what he is also saying is that the percentage of people who didn't follow you and still ended up liking or viewing it, if there is an engagement there, what does that mean? So does that mean that gaining followers in general doesn't even make sense is what I was trying to get at.
No, what he's saying is input versus output metric. That is not under your control. So what he is saying is once you upload a content, they will show your initial audience.
Correct.
For sure. They will also take out some 5%, 10%, let's say. He did not mention the percentage, but let's say they will show it to a newer audience. Then they start seeing what is the how many people that they show to the newer audience, what is the engagement rate there, and what is the engagement rate with your current follower. That's why he just mentioned a word called parallel tracking.
Okay.
Now the thing is, if the follower people are reacting, then they will try to increase this percentage. If followers of the newer audience, obviously, unfollowers, for an example. If these people are not reacting and only these people are reacting, he has not commented yet, at least, but I don't think they will push. And the reason I'm able to tell it, because I've seen it on Reel specifically, that whenever you use a trending audio, I see a 55% reach coming from the unfollowers, for sure. So which means Instagram is boosting and Instagram is pumping down that. And I can tell you with like literally a lot of data points. If I'm using a trending audio which has 122K usage of that music audio, my percentage of newer audiences of reach is 3%. If I'm using an audio which Instagram has tagged as trending, but the usage of that audio is under 25K, my split goes to a 55%. If I'm using a 2000, 1000 usage audio, Instagram tagged trending, the percentage goes to a 75%, literally. Now, what I have been always confused is that if only 25% of my initial people reacted, did Instagram not promote to my initial followers at all? Yeah, it is just a percentage skew that I'm not able to figure out. That has been always.
Just one thing to it, because exactly the same thing even I used to think for a long time. But then I observed the pattern. And I think at the back end, the Instagram algorithm has a even more diverse way of promoting your content. So for example, you have two sets of content. One is say a mini blog and another is just an infotainment content. Now, I don't know how Instagram does it, but it basically shows it to at the background, it has multiple levels of, like, it has already created cohorts that this particular cohort of audience is actually interacting more with mini blogs. So let's push it to them first. If the engagement comes from them, then among your followers, the different cohorts will start getting the notification. So that way,
Wait.
We will never.
So did just to get a sense what you just said, so that I'm in the right track. Are you saying number one, Instagram has cohorts for newer audience? Right. But are you also saying Instagram has cohorts for your own followers as well?
Yes, and exactly. So for example, one cohort, which is say typically a mini blog consumer cohort, that particular cohort interacted with my content. Now what Instagram will do is that the algorithm will now then start pushing that reel to the newer audience of the same cohort.
So which means if you have two interests, one is automobile, another one is, let's say, food, rather than creating a single persona of Ridhaman doing everything and trying to show his life, make two different channels.
Absolutely.
It's been a long term. Yeah.
And I have done that, and I have realized that no matter how much you try, Instagram will not promote it.
Yeah, true.
And so that's what I guess the connected versus non-connected reach comes at play. So at one point of time, I think followers, like having followers is important, because if you have a very strong cohesive followers, your initial boost to that video is high. If you don't have a lot of followers, then it becomes difficult for the algorithm to actually understand that who should this particular video be catered in the new audience cohort.